What an angle.
So they let you keep these?
You're gonna get a million years of bad luck.
Blibberty, ibberty.
Liberty, liberty.
Such a beautiful ship. Look at the beautiful reflecting its beauty into our eyeballs. You just saw the ship. We just teleported off of the ship and then onto this balcony in this hotel. Hi, Matt here.
I'm Stacy, and this little guy is our buddy Tarzan. Together, we are the Rays on the road.
So we're in the port, and they play crazy music.
So according to that navigation map, we didn't go all the way to Miami. So according to that map, they just went over there and come back. But it doesn't show that it goes into the port like it did there in Lauderdale. It's a weird path, and you go up the coast of Florida and back down.
Yeah, what a bunch of weirdos.
Just off the coast. So I bet they somehow transferred them to that Coast Guard ship. Because I don't think from the time that we saw those lights to the time we were able to go up on the deck, they couldn't have got in and out of a port.
You don't think?
They have to go certain speeds.
Yeah, you're right.
We can't go that fast. This thing will just crash up into the land, you know?
So do they let you keep these?
I don't think so. But you do look very handsome in it. But I don't think you get to keep it. It's Brandon.
It's so soft.
Is it? I didn't even realize they were in the closet. Ooh, that is soft. Yeah, I guess I don't ever unpack. So I just leave it out of my suitcase. I didn't even look in the closet.
They got one. You want one too?
Nah. I think they're probably $50.
$50.
Yeah. Yeah, but they are soft, and you look handsome in it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's also an umbrella here.
Yeah, I think you can purchase that too. You're gonna get a million years of bad luck. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, that's a nice umbrella.
It's branded.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
Packed up almost. Got the suitcases zipped. Just got to deal with charging world, you know. That's behind the scenes of making these videos. Is a lot of batteries that have to be charged all the time.
Is it gray? The other one was blue.
Yeah, that's gray. So different colors.
They're like different sizes.
Maybe.
This is one size fits all.
That's weird.
It's so tight I can't even get it off.
You want to try the gray one on? I remember seeing these in other celebrity videos, but I don't know, I just didn't.
Hey, we talked about it in the room tour.
I think that one's bigger. Yeah, it seems like you got more room in it. Quit doing that. Oh, what an angle.
In a little robe.
But it fits you. You're
Guy in a little robe.
Oh, you're crazy. I guess we did talk about it. I don't know. It just slipped my mind.
Yeah, I never got to put these fancy ones on, so I just wanted to.
Yeah, now you do.
Now I did. Well, bye-bye, room.
Okay, so we're disembarking. We did the carry-off luggage. I didn't really understand the difference, but I guess there's another option where you put it out the night before. So we basically just rode the elevator down, walked straight on to deck 5, and we'll see what happens next.
It's been pretty smooth. We only had to wait maybe 5 minutes on an elevator.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Thankfully, it's not too hot outside.
A very good morning, celebrity guests. At this time, we're calling guests with luggage tag numbers up to and including number 19 to please now proceed to the gangway located on deck 5 forward by the Celebrity Theatre. Please remember to have your seatbelt card in hand when exiting the vessel. On behalf of the officers, staff, and crew of the Celebrity Reflection, we would like to thank you for choosing Celebrity Cruises for your cruise vacation. We wish you a safe and a pleasant onward journey.
Wow, it's over. This
Over
is
for
downhill.
now.
So we're out of customs, and now we're gonna make a long walk to the parking garage.
Made it to the elevator. Chaos is kind of breaking out. The line is like
confusing.
People don't know what to do.
People thought they were in line and they weren't.
Yeah, it's very chaotic.
And very humid.
Yes. But somehow this guy's got ice cold water.
I know, he must have ran out here. It took me 20 minutes to get this far. We're the last
people in the elevator.
This port is wild.
For the birds.
Yeah. Thankfully, I think we parked pretty close to the elevator.
Yeah, anytime you can go to Port Canaveral, go to Port Canaveral, I think.
Yeah, definitely. This elevator is scary too. Yeah.
This us?
Yeah.
We made it.
Oh, if I could just get to that silver bullet.
Such a beautiful ship. Had a great time. Definitely would go back. Uh-oh. I'm having hat problems. It's blowing around. I'm blind to one side. Oh, we got a new ship over here. I think I'm gonna go over here and see what it is after I load the car. Yeah, this port over here is kind of cool looking. This dock. There's that aerofoil we saw in Bimini. And there's our ship, the Celebrity Reflection. I don't know what this ship is here. Interesting looking vessel. Is it Viking? The Viking. Never seen anything like that. It's a very small ship. The Viking Octantis. Oh, and look over there, a couple of cargo vessels. Really cool cargo vessels. Some sort of condos or hotels. Oh, look right there. There's like another cargo ship going right by the Reflection. Yeah. Cool. Look at the beautiful reflection, celebrity reflection out in the ocean, reflecting its beauty into our eyeballs.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Ooh.
I'm zoomed in so we can. Hey guys.
So you just saw the ship. We just teleported off of the ship and then onto this balcony in this hotel.
Just boom. The debarkation was that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if only that was true. So, debarkation was actually kind of a nightmare. It's way worse than Port Canaveral. It's an extremely long walk. It's very inconvenient. And I didn't like it. I was stressed and it was a long walk and you're like already tired from the cruise. I'm gonna look into for on the next cruise. I saw online a lot of people say that there are some park and ride like shuttle services to Port Everglades, and that they are priced similarly and sometimes below the parking at the port. So I'm gonna look into that before we go back on a cruise at that port.
I don't think that would work any smoother than what we had, because there was several of those car services and people were lined
jammed
out
up
the wazoo, and so we just walked around those people, walked and stood in a line for an elevator for like 5 or 10 minutes and then got in our car and left.
Yeah,
you did have to walk a little bit, but gets your sea legs about you.
that's true. You definitely had your land legs back immediately from that walk. The other thing that I found irksome at that port was the Homeland Security guy. So I sailed with my birth certificate and my driver's license like I've done before. There was no issue getting on the ship, but he like hassled me about it and said I needed my marriage license. And I was like, well, I mean, no one told me that. That was never mentioned when I got on the ship, so I don't have it. And I mean, he was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, but I just thought that was weird, didn't you?
Yeah, it's kind of a jerk.
Otherwise, which I know, like, your passport's preferred, but it was just kind of an annoyance to me. So I think, do you have anything else to add about the wrap up of Debarkation? And then we'll do, and then we'll do like our final thoughts on the total experience.
I prefer, of the two ports that I've been to, I prefer the Port Orlando, but that is the Carnival dock. I don't know if the other brands have a better dock or not.
That's true.
The Celebrity dock at this location, which I think this may be one of the only ports that Celebrity uses. I don't know. The building on it was like a Celebrity building, so I guess they built it for Celebrity.
Yeah.
Beautiful building.
And other than that one Homeland Security guy, the people were nice that we dealt with in.
So a beautiful building, and but the port itself, you have to keep in mind the Port Everglades is what it's technically called, is actually a port. So it's a lot more secure than it would be at Port Orlando, which is just a cruise terminal. So you have several checkpoints, and then you're also in a bunch of cargo traffic. So coming in, I caught a lot of that, which is cool. I like to see that kind of stuff. It's just like a treat for me.
But it was stressful.
But it's stressful, one, and two, it's very confusing, and then you're just like in a mixture of all these trucks. So keep that in mind. If you have a choice, if I had a choice, I would choose Orlando myself. But parking was a lot cheaper. It's about $20 less.
Yeah, it was cheaper for the same amount of time.
For the same amount of time, so that's a plus. $20 is $20. So I guess that's the port and Disembarkation. I thought it was okay. It had a little bit of a line to it.
Our time wasn't until
smoothly.
Well, our time was at 7:45, but the housekeeping started knocking on our door at 7. And we were like, what? We haven't even, because they send you a message when it's time for you to go. We hadn't gotten our message yet. And so they were knocking on our door 45 minutes before we even got the message that we could leave. I thought that was a little disorganized, but...
Well, there was a little bit of a mix-up. Somehow they had it in our system that we were, if you've never been on a cruise, there's two ways that you can disembark. One, you can let them take your bags off of the ship for you, but you have to get them ready and put a tag on them and sit them out in the hallway the night before. In our case on this cruise, they wanted it out before 10 o'clock, which we did not do. We were at a show at 10 o'clock and we didn't have them out before then. So we just chose to carry it off, but it still had us marked as the group of whatever tag they assigned us in the app. It didn't actually ever give me a choice to choose my own luggage like Carnival gave me a choice, and I chose to carry my luggage off because, one, it's the quickest option. It allows you to keep your luggage longer. You just have to carry and our luggage is on wheels, so we just have to like wheel it off the ship to our car.
Well, and I think maybe that's easier for guys, but like I got a whole rigmarole. I need my makeup bag, my toiletry bag, my hair straightener.
Yeah, you really need to watch some YouTube videos on how to pare your packing down, to streamline your packing.
So this will be the continued saga of Matt hating my suitcase. I'm working on it, okay?
It's not me. It's all my pulled muscle.
I'm working on it.
And all that. Strained muscles, torn.
I'm working on it, okay? It wasn't as heavy this time as it was last time.
But anyway, to get back to what I was talking about, so the Celebrity app is good. It's good in a lot of ways, but in this way it was buggy, and it like assigned me something I didn't choose to want to be assigned. And anyway, how this relates to what we were talking about, she said we were assigned 7:45 departure time, and that's true for the tags that they assigned us if we were using their luggage service, but we weren't. And if you read the fine print, it said that we had until I think 8:45. It said we would clear customs on the ship to begin departure, but before then we could go wait, and it listed like a number of places that you could eat breakfast in the hour. Some of them opened at like 5 o'clock. And so each people have a separate space to wait for them to be called. But both cruises we've done, we never did that. We just directly went off of the ship.
Yeah.
Because we were carrying our own luggage, which I think is a big plus. I think, whatever inconvenience it is to wheel it off of the ship to your car is worth the convenience you gain from being able to just get off the ship when you want.
That's true. And it's also like, to me, I wish that there was like, I don't know, it's so early. And on both of our experiences, we like kind of stayed up really late on the last night because you're like soaking up all the ship fun that you can,
Well, me, I stayed up all night doing a ship tour.
On the first one, yeah.
On the first one. So at the end of the ship tour, on our first cruise, I was up till like, I don't know, 6 o'clock is when I wrapped it up, or 7, something like that. And I grabbed a breakfast burrito and then went and brought you breakfast in bed.
Yeah, and on this one, we didn't even get back to the room till after 2, just like playing around on the ship. And then you got to get up at 6, So it's the disembarkation morning is tough for me, and all that. And like, I'm not in great shape. That walk is tough for me.
So they make you feel like you have to get off the ship right away, but I don't know, those breakfast restaurants are open to like 9 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, can you stay on there until then and then leave? I don't know. We always just choose to get off the ship. But anyway, like, I just thought that the Port Canaveral system was better, but there's a lot of, is that Carnival? Is that, Celebrity? I don't know. Yeah,
is it based on the cruise liner? Which, as we continue to learn more and try out new things, I guess we'll have a better perspective on that. But for now, I'm leaning heavily towards Port Canaveral as a preferred port of call, if that's what they call it.
So would you do Celebrity again? I would. I was really enjoying this cruise. The only thing, the last day that we were there, when we go back to go to bed, I had noticed that it's kind of stupid. I keep these, they give you on these cruises, or certain brands give you these newsletters every day that tells you like about whatever's going on in the islands and things, and I just kind of find it interesting, and it's a free souvenir, so I keep those. So I had them all just sitting on the desk, and I had a Bible sitting on top of it. And so we come back, and I noticed that, when I was looking, Celebrity gives you little chocolates, and I was looking, and they weren't where I left them because I'd been saving them, to eat whenever I wanted. Just as a treat, if I like wanted a chocolate or whatever. So those were missing. I go to look for them, and our room steward had put them in a different spot, like stacked them up. And then I noticed after that the Bible had been moved and the papers were all disheveled, and she had taken the days 1 through 3, or I guess I don't know if she took them.
They were gone.
They were gone. I don't know if like somebody came in while she was cleaning behind her back and took them, or somebody.
We don't know.
We don't know how they got gone. We just know they were gone, which I thought was bizarre.
I think it's weird too.
There's such a high-end cruise line like Celebrity that something can happen like that in their ecosystem, even if it wasn't her that took them, that somehow somebody was inside of our room and had access and took them.
Well, there was also, and I want to say the room steward did a really great job keeping the room clean, and these people work really hard, so we are not trying to like drag anybody out. But there were some weird things that happened too, with like moving my clothes around and reorganizing my clothes that I had like stacked on shelves, and like I would leave, and I didn't bring any expensive jewelry. I don't travel with my nice jewelry, but so it was just like costume jewelry. But like I would leave a necklace on a specific shelf in the bathroom, and when I came back, it was moved. And nothing missing, but I just thought that was so bizarre.
The first thing we noticed is that we come back the first night, and she had folded my pants up and set them on my suitcase.
And they were just laid over the suitcase to begin with. They were fine, but she had gotten them and folded them. We're like, what?
I'll tell you what my first thought was like, wow, this is such a high-end cruise line that you basically have a butler that folds your clothes. Is that what's going on here? But then, like, later in the trip, just these weird things were happening.
And, like, I'm like, a cruise ship, you saw the bathroom tour. So there's a shelf under the sink. I don't change pajamas every day because I shower before I go to bed, and so I might wear the same pajamas 3 nights in a row because I shower right before I lay down. And so I'd like folded my pajamas up, kind of rolled them up and set them on the shelf. And then I also put some dirty clothes on the other side of the shelf. But I was just going to keep them there. But then when I come back, they're all in a bag together. And I'm like, well, she probably thought that was a nice thing to do. Then the next day, there's clothes from the other part of the room in a bag on that shelf when I come back in. And then the third day, the 2 bags were dumped out into one bag together. Like, I just didn't understand the continuing to rifle with my dirty laundry.
And, you know, I mean,
I found that weird. But I don't know. Maybe that's typical. If you guys have sailed the cruise ships that have the multiple housekeeping services throughout the day and the turn-down service, let us know if that's normal. Maybe I'm out of line by thinking that's weird. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can think of reasons why any of that can happen. The only thing I can't really think of a reason why somebody would take
those papers
and throw it away. Or
and the sugar. So I like to keep little trinkets like my chocolates. I didn't plan to ever eat those. I want to keep those forever, you know.
I ate 2 of them.
I didn't eat any of mine. I want to put them with like my little keepsakes.
They were good. But she didn't give us any the last night. I don't know. I guess she thought we didn't like them.
Because we didn't eat them. But I was just saving them.
But yeah, I was just saving them as a cheap souvenir.
But so the other thing, which this is like a silly thing, but we like branding and marketing. That's something that we pay attention when we're places. And so Celebrity had sugar packets that were branded specifically to Celebrity. And so we took a couple of them from the dining room and we just set them on our shelf with the chocolates, and we were going to keep them and sit them on our little keepsake shelf with all of our other like doodads and stuff. I know that's just a silly thing. It's probably 1 penny of value, but that's not the point. But she took them and threw them away. Or someone did. What? That's weird. To me. That's weird.
I thought it was weird, you know. I don't know.
But we're not cruise experts.
Yeah.
So if you are a seasoned cruiser and this is just kind of par for the course, let us know, because I don't want to talk out of turn. And like I said, I'm not trying to drag anybody because they work so hard.
Yeah, they do. And she did a good job cleaning.
Yeah, the room was very clean. I did
a black light over it. The only spots I found on the black light, there was some on the ceiling, a little bit on the back of the doors, but it was smudge on one of the walls. And then just visible dirt. The only thing I found, I think I forgot to film this, is that the phone, there was like dirt that had collected where the mouthpiece sits in the phone.
Yeah.
But I think I forgot to film that.
But like the attention to detail in the housekeeping, a good example of that is, you guys see me, I wear makeup. And so on one of the days I came back in the room and took a nap. And when I got up, I noticed there was like a very faint smudge of makeup on the pillowcase. But who cared? I don't care. But when I came back in, she had put a fresh pillowcase on that pillow for me. So she was good. She was working really hard. That was just some weird things to me.
And she was so peppy, like the first night or 2 of the cruise, like so friendly and nice. And then I don't know if she's new and just not used to that, but they work really hard. But we came by and met her, it might have been the last night, and she was in another room, and I don't know what had happened in this bed.
Yeah.
But she had stripped the entire bed and the mattress off. I don't know.
So maybe she was just having...
She comes out, and we were like, hello, you know, like, because she's very nice and friendly all the time, but she just was like,
hi.
Just like she just is like...
Just like she was wore down, yeah.
It's kind of sad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's why I say, like, I hate to... we're not dragging this person. We just found that to be weird, and I don't know if that's standard stuff or if that was weird, because we're not cruise experts.
Well, you know, it's the companies that create the ecosystems and the training, you know. And so I don't know if it's just like a training thing, like these higher-end hotels, they want the more interaction
Yeah.
the higher level of stuff. I don't know. I've never stayed at a hotel, I guess. At that
I know
level.
Anthony Malcurie says the 5-star hotels unpack your suitcase for you,
Yeah,
which I would hate.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not used to
I
that.
do not want somebody going through my panties out of my suitcase. No.
It's different from everywhere I've ever stayed. Everywhere
Yeah.
I've ever stayed, including Carnival, as we see the reflection out there is just fading off into the distance.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll flip it around. Yeah, it's fading across the horizon. We're about to lose her.
But they just work around your crap in the room.
Which, yeah. And
Which is what I'm used to.
And it's not like we left a big mess in the room either. Before we left, every time, because we kind of live out of our suitcases, but we put everything in the suitcases and close them. And then we have things on shelves. But it's not like the room was trashed, you know?
No, not at all.
Oh, the garbage bags.
Oh, yeah. So I am a cheapskate, and I like to find repurposing of items that I get for free. So one of the things that I do is whenever I get a plastic shopping bag, I like to find several uses for it before, when it gets holes, I finally throw it away. So one of those things is when I'm packing, I kind of like keep things like tied off to each compartment and things.
Like put shoes in a bag and tie it up.
Right, or toothbrush items and toothpaste.
Mouthwash in a bag, tie it up. Yeah.
That way if it busts, the liquid, I don't know. But it's free, and I try to reuse it before I trash it. And I had been collecting those bags, to use on this trip. And I forgot to put one of them back in the bag that I was using, my backpack. And it was on the bed. And so I just forgot. I'm not used to this double turn down service and all that. I come back and it was gone. And then I look in the trash bucket, they use unlined trash buckets with a hard plastic liner within the decorative one. Mm-hmm. She'd put this QuickTime bag in there as a trash bag.
Which, I'm not mad about that, but it's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand the non-line trash cans in some hotels, so to me that's gross. But I don't want to be the one that supplies them the liner.
But it's also the same day that she put all my laundry in all those separate bags. So she had bags.
That is true. She put yours in a.
They're clear, clear. They were the clear bags, garbage bags. Yeah, it was that. The second day when she did the laundry was when I got really annoyed about it, because I was going to wear those pajamas again, but then she put them in a bag with clothes that were actually dirty. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to wear those again to bed, because it's,
So,
I don't know.
I mean, I know this is all minor stuff, but to me, it's almost like I've been violated. We were having such a great time, 10 out of 10. We love Celebrity. We're going to go again. This is the best thing ever. We loved it. We're both having such a great time. And then when we got back to the room and realized that,
I was just so irked out on it.
It just was like,
what in the world?
How can this happen in a, you can't really go to a company that is something.
And I feel embarrassed even telling people that I was so annoyed by that, because it seems silly, but I purposefully did not read those newsletters because I wanted to go home, and one night when we were in bed, I wanted to read them together and we could reminisce on our vacation. So I don't even know what they said.
We'll never know. And I called down on guest services, and I was like, maybe they have extra copies, no big deal. I'll go down. And I said, yeah, my housekeeper threw them out. Can I just grab some new ones? And he's just like, oh, sorry that happened. No, we don't have any extra.
And I even posted in the Facebook group, because every cruise has somebody will create a group, I posted in the group on this cruise, hey, can somebody please message me a snapshot of your reflection pages? And no one did. And that's what I say. I almost feel like people are going to be like, these people are nutcases. They're talking about sugar packets and a free cruise flyer. But it's just something I was like, I said, I'm not going to read that when I get home. We'll get in bed one night and we'll read them and we'll talk about how fun our trip was. And now I'll never know what they said.
It's just it's a neat
weird.
souvenir, I know we're going on like back-to-back cruises, but
Yeah.
like, it's usually just like a big deal to us.
Yeah. But so let's try and compartmentalize that stuff with the room. That stuff notwithstanding or withholding, whichever the right term phrase is there, I'm not sure. What do you think about the full cruise, the whole experience?
Well, I was going by the brand, Would You Do Celebrity again? And before that had happened, it would have been a 10 out of 10 yes every time. Now it's just kind of like, I loved it, but I just don't know. Like, any time that incident can happen within a brand, I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
That something like that, if that's how they train these guys, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I absolutely loved it. There was so much I loved. That extravaganza lunch buffet was so fun to me, trying all that different stuff. I loved the ports that we went to. I had so much fun at both of them.
Yeah, the food 10 out of 10.
The food, the dining room experience, that's all great. But that is all very tainted to me, and maybe I'm weird, by somebody rifling through my dirty clothes. That makes me feel weird.
And the cost. So the deal on this was that the Carnival one was like $490 a day once you add in all the fees and the extras. This one ended up being a little over around $250 a day, so about half price.
Really? I hadn't heard.
So at that rate, you know.
Definitely, I would do it again, whether she went through my dirty underwear or not.
Why in the world would you go on a Royal Caribbean cruise and pay twice or more? Royal Caribbean
3 times
like 3
even.
or 4 times versus Carnival just being 1 time.
I hadn't heard that you done the final math. It was half the Carnival.
It's approximately half price, but you know we didn't do all the excursions and stuff because.
But we didn't need
to. It's a luxury line. You don't have to. It's all this stuff is included.
And that's one thing I want to say in the final thought. I enjoyed the one extra restaurant that we did, but it wasn't better than the main dining room.
I wouldn't do it. The guy just came in and was like,
yeah, it was a sale. But the main dining room and the buffet are so incredible. You don't need the other. I would like to try that Tuscan grill sometime. It was sold out on this selling. That's one thing I would like to try maybe. So maybe if we did a longer selling, I might do one, you know, especially dining. We wanted to try, you guys watched the day, you've already seen the day 4 video. So we wanted to try the porch or the sushi, but it didn't work out. But I'm glad it didn't, because the main dining room ended up being really great on the final night.
Me too. I had no problem with including main dining. I know you wanted to try something different.
Well, I just wanted to compare those, because they had those same things. I wanted to compare that lobster roll, and I wanted to compare that shrimp roll to the Carnival one, and the prices. But
well, I'm assuming it would be better than Carnival. However, what was it? The grass, the lawn grill.
The lawn grill, yeah.
The lawn grill, whatever. It was okay, but not worth the added cost.
And it wasn't better than the Emerald Room, probably.
The main dining is so good. So.
Yeah. And the buffet is so good. Just the plain buffet. You don't get that service level, but if you don't want to dress up and go through all that fancy, schmancy stuff, the buffet is off the chain. And I cannot talk enough about the Sea Day lunch extravaganza. I know people are going to be like, what a cow.
Yeah, the food.
But that was so fun. All that crazy stuff.
It almost matches like the 90s Carnival midnight buffet levels with the ice sculptures and all that. They didn't have all that, but
they had a fruit tree.
They had a fruit tree and a shrimp thing. So.
A shrimp tower. And all those cakes were so beautiful.
The ship. Love this ship. Love the design. Love this. If this class of ship, this was the last one they did of that. It's the biggest one. It has an extra floor. The other ones don't have, but I would have no problem sailing on any of the other ones.
Same.
Or the new class Beyond looks nice, but they did change a lot of stuff. It's a lot less stylish. It's more modern, like everything's gray type of stuff.
I hate that they changed the dining room, because that dining room is...
Well, that's just like an industry trend. They're all going away from main dining rooms.
But I hate that, because that dining room was so beautiful. and such a good fun experience. And
Just
it
want you
seemed
to spend as much money as you can
on all those extra things, yeah. But I mean, the food was so good. If I can put the weird stuff with the stateroom out of my mind, this cruise was a 10 for me.
Yeah, but with that, I don't know, I would say 7.
It brings it down a lot, and people are going to, I'm sure, roast me in the comments. Nobody wants to touch your laundry. I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying I feel weird about it. That's all I'm saying. Is it makes me feel weird, and that we don't have those papers or that sugar. I feel weird about it. That's it.
I just was, the moving my shorts around, putting them on like the wall hooks. That was kind of weird, but whatever.
And I want to say, like,
It's just those papers and the sugar packets. To me, that's just like, if they're messy, like rearrange them.
But they were straightened up and they were messy when we come back.
They weren't messy when I put them there. I had them all
right.
organized. That's not what I'm saying. But like, if it were, why don't you do that or ask me before you did it?
But I'm saying the opposite. You had them organized, and when we came back, it was disorganized.
It was.
Because you had it all stacked up, and that Bible was sitting right on top of it. I remember.
But I don't know. Maybe it's their policy to just throw people's stuff away.
And I tried to, most of the people that work on cruise ships are from other countries, so there are some cultural differences. And so you give allowances for some things. People have different expectations of things.
Maybe like rich people that are on this cruise would like complain, like she didn't throw my crap away.
Yeah, so I don't know. And that's one thing I want to talk about, the fellow cruisers.
Yeah, that was my big negative of this cruise, even with this weird housekeeping situation. I didn't feel comfortable with a lot of the people I was sailing with. They were very hoity-toity, I guess.
There was some of that, but there was also a lot of nice people. We met a whole lot of people that we really liked, but there were some people that I was just like, who in the world do you think you are? You think you're on a Ritz-Carlton yacht right now? This is this is cheaper than a Carnival cruise. Get over yourself.
I don't know, and this is becoming a very long, but whatever, I don't care.
This is our final thoughts on it, though. This is our final thing. We want to get everything out on this video.
I'll be honest, Walmart or Carnival gets a lot of flack. It's the Walmart of the seas, but to me, Carnival and one of my favorite cruise tubers put it like this, and it clicked. I kind of think that this is true. Carnival is like America. It's like a mini microcosm of America, and I felt more home there. I don't drink, I don't party, I don't go wild like these people did on the Carnival ship we were on. But the people that we met that weren't going nuts were
nice.
Regular salt-of-the-earth people. And we did meet a few of those on the Celebrity too, but...
Shout out Amelia, Anastasia, ladies from Long Island. Yeah, we met a lot of nice people.
I don't know, I just felt like a fish out of water, honestly.
Yeah, there was some people there that, to me, I don't feel uncomfortable around people like that. I just want to laugh at them. Like, who do you think you are? This is a
I don't want to feel like
4-day cruise.
Armani suit and get dressed every night to have a good time or relax. I want to just, I'll wear shorts if I want to wear shorts. I want to relax. I don't want
still would do this again
for how I dress.
But I felt like do you feel like you got judged for what you wore, like pants and a
by
shirt?
the other people, certainly.
Really?
Yeah, because I just wear dollar Amazon shirts, dollar shorts. Can I afford better stuff? Yeah, I'm not trying to
pity poor us. That's how we are.
I don't care about things like that. If you judge me by how I'm dressed, that's on you. That's...
Well, and that's not somebody we want to be associated with, people that do that.
It's just clothing. It doesn't mean anything about you.
Yeah. I feel like the food being... again, this is I'm setting myself up to be roasted by these trolls. I'd go again just because food was so good.
Yeah, I would, and I love the ship, and most of the employees we encountered were friendly. We did meet some jerks who were the employees. That's also another difference. This is kind of turned into a Celebrity versus Carnival, but...
That's our experience that we have to draw from.
The Carnival one, just everybody on a Carnival cruise that's employed by Carnival, they just make you feel like...
Ear to ear smile.
They make you feel like a celebrity, like you are somebody, even though you're just like a Walmart shopping, sweaty fat guy like me. But celebrity, I kind of feel like some of them were judging.
Yeah.
And or like acting like they were forced to be nice. But some of them were genuinely nice and genuinely cared and were very hospitable people.
And it may have to do, they may be short-staffed. They may have been working extra hard, and so they were just wore out. We don't know.
But what I'm getting at is I think that in Carnival, it's consistent with the employees. They are happy to be there. They make you feel like they are glad to have you there.
That was something that...
And it's inconsistent with the celebrity.
I don't know if we talked about this in the Carnival vlogs, but that the chef mentioned it, and that guy from Zimbabwe talked to me about it. The Carnival employees, they call each other the Carnival family, and they really are like...
And that's how they act. They act like they're a family. They act like you're part of their family.
But I didn't get that same vibe here. Now, people were nice. A lot of them were really nice. The guys at the martini bar were super nice. They're like some of the nicest people.
Yeah, there were a lot of nice guys on there. A lot of nice people. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying every now and then you
got one that I was like, the first night that Mater D gave us a little bit of the brush off. And then he saw us with the camera and had a totally different attitude. And I was like, come on, man.
That was the wildest thing. We're just standing in line and everybody else is in line.
And he's like, go on, go away.
He's like, I'm not seating anybody for 15 more minutes. And then everybody's just like, And
then we sit down and pull the camera out. And he's like, oh, how do you do, madam? Can I pull out your chair for you? And we're like, oh, okay. And like, FY, you're wasting your time. We're not that big of a channel.
Because the next night and the rest of
he was a totally different attitude.
Well, and not just his attitude, but he allowed people to be seated at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I don't know. I still loved it. I still had a really good time. I cannot say enough good things about Key West and Bimini. I want to go back to both of those places very badly.
Yeah.
Bimini is...
I would do the itinerary again. I would do the ship again. I would do the brand again. I have some reservations based upon things, but... and what I'm getting at, overall, of course, it was a better experience than Carnival. It cost less and was overall better.
That's mind-blowing, half the cost.
But my point is that it's not clear-cut. Like, I wanted to go in here and be like, of course, everything's better, it's perfect, it's all this, but Carnival does some good things that are good.
I think I agree with you. I feel like I lean a little heavier towards the celebrity cruise than you are, but... I do agree it's not clear cut. Yeah.
The few rude employees I met, that's one thing, but that just was that whole.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, it's just papers. I'll get over it. It's free. They gave it to me. If I had kept them, I may have read them and then threw them away myself in 20 years. I don't know. The point of it is that.
Somebody rifled through our stuff.
In their ecosystem they've created, they have somebody that will rifle through your things. It's a possibility that somebody can come into your room, rifle through your things, and take some of your things.
Yeah. And it may not have even been our stateroom steward that did it. It could have been another employee.
Open the doors,
yeah.
And then she's running, taking towels, getting stuff, so somebody could have slipped in and got it. We don't know. That's why I'm not blaming her for anything. I'm just saying, like, this situation was created in this ecosystem under this brand.
And now, something I just thought of, it was weird how my jewelry kept getting moved around. And like I said, I don't travel with expensive jewelry. You had that expensive thing you bought me in there the whole time. I'm so glad you had that in the safe the whole time.
Yeah, that's... So, pro tip, if you do have anything, other than these free leaflets they give you, newsletters, if you have anything in your room that you want to make sure it's not stolen and you are on the celebrity reflection or anything, but particularly the celebrity reflection, because this is my experience I had on there, make sure you use your safe. If it's too big to put in the safe, you can always go down to guest relations and put it in their safe. I think they have a safe down there. Put the papers up. I don't know, like put them in your backpack if you want to make sure they don't get...
Like that feeling last night, another thing, when we saw that, we're like, crap, get all the gear out. Make sure we have, because you know we have stuff.
What else did she think we didn't need?
Yeah, like
or not her, but I mean, it could be anybody.
But we're like, you know, get the computer bag. All of our chargers, just battery packs, stuff like that. You guys know we have to make these videos. We're like, that's just, I don't want to have to go through those things to make sure they're not gone.
No, just a very.
Just
kind of ruins it.
Yeah, it was a 10 out of 10, and it just really turned it around. But I still would do it again, honestly. If they called us and said, we've got an opening Monday, well, you want to get back on the ship, I'd go to the laundromat, wash our clothes here in Florida, and hop back on the ship. But I don't know. But
for me, it just went from like, this is my
100%.
This is my ship. I love this place. I was at home. This is for me. I want to do this again, to being like,
we'll see.
I want to try somebody else. Let's go to other brands and see what their experience is like.
Yeah, because there's so much positive on that ship. I loved all the different. There's so many seating areas that you could just chill out, sit.
Such a beautiful ship. It's a very grand ship. I don't think the new ships are as nice, but I don't know. I like to try them out.
Yeah, but I still highly recommend you try this, because I had such a good time. And I also want to say, I think that Bimini is the most underrated port in the Caribbean, because we watch a bazillion cruise videos, and I don't see people raving about that place. That place is so beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, most people don't want that. Most people probably want somewhere they can go get drunk, or like some kind of crazy kayaking or
zip
lining.
But you know, we are people. I mean, I don't know. People might judge us and be like, "You're not." We're nature lovers, really. We spend a lot of time on any of our destinations just looking at nature and being as close to things like that as we can. So when we were up there, I guess it was the north shore of the island, sitting with that broken tree branch over that perfectly blue water, just sitting in that golf cart, that to me was paradise on earth. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's the ultimate vacation to me. I guess other people go there and they go to that Resorts World and party, but I have no interest in that.
Yeah, I don't know, but now that we've
seen how beautiful it is,
you know, would we want to do it a second time? That's kind of, I've thought of that, but I think I would.
I would, and I've already thought of what I'll do. I want to rent the golf cart the whole day, and maybe rent it beforehand, like try to call ahead and get some people that you don't have to like dicker around with and get a set price on one reservation. And I would bring like a camp chair, like a folding chair in my luggage, those ones that fold up really small, and I would sit on that beautiful Paradise Beach by myself with just me and you from the time we got there to the time we left. I'd steal a sandwich from the buffet off of the ship and bring it and just sit there all day long. That's exactly what I would do. I loved that. I loved it. And I would have, I didn't bring my bathing suit because I didn't think there would be beaches like there were there. Because we had decided we weren't going to do the Resort World, so I didn't bring my suit. But I would definitely wear my suit, and I would have been paddling around in that blue water while you stood there and stressed out about me going out too far into the ocean, probably. Do you want to add anything else before we...
What else is there? So we did the line, the ship, the itinerary, the port.
Oh, Key West, let's talk about it. I think it deserves its own trip, just the several days in Key West. There was a lot to do there. We didn't get to hardly anything, and we walked around as fast as we could.
Yeah, I agree. We were port runners that day.
Yeah, we were like 2 minutes before.
Right.
And we walked as fast as we could.
That's your own vacation right there. I've always wanted to just drive out there. Is that something you all would want us to watch or want to watch?
Yeah, that might be like a fun road trip video. You guys interested in that? Otherwise, I think that's all I have for the wrap up. Thank you all if you made it this far in this video. We appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. If you end up thinking that you don't like our content, you can always unsubscribe. There's no penalty. There's nothing. You just hit unsubscribe. That's it. But if you hit subscribe, you'll get a notification. It'll show us in your homepage. And if you really want to make sure that you get our stuff, hit the bell and you will get notifications when we post new stuff, which is almost every day. I don't guarantee a daily vlog because we do have very busy lives outside of YouTube, but we try to post as often as we can. It's usually every day. We love you all so much. We appreciate everything that you guys do and all your comments and interactions, and we love talking to you guys. We hope that you have a great day. We'll see you really soon. Bye for now.